Hello there, you're watching the Fact Flash and welcome to tonight's headline note. Demonetisation of 2016, the mystery of why India banned 500 and 1000 rupee notes overnight. So on the night of November 8th, 2016, India went to bed as usual. And then, at exactly 8 p.m., Prime Minister Narendra Modi appeared on television with a 20-minute address that would shake the lives of 1.4 billion people. He announced that from midnight, 500 and 1000 rupee currency notes, 86% of all the cash in circulation, would no longer be legal tender. Imagine this. You woke up in the morning with 10,000 rupees in your wallet and overnight it became nothing more than just paper. No shops accepting it, no petrol pumps beyond a grace period, no hospitals beyond a few exceptions. The shock was unprecedented. The queues outside the ATMs, the stampedes at banks, the chaos across markets. India had never seen something like that before. But why did it happen in the first place? What was the government really trying to do? And did demonetisation achieve what it promised? Or did it end up as one of India's biggest economic blunders? Let's rewind. PM Modi in his speech gave three main reasons. The first one was to eliminate black money. The second one was to curb corruption. And the third one was to stop the circulation of fake currency, especially those allegedly printed in Pakistan to fund terrorism. On paper, this sounded noble. Who wouldn't want to kill corruption? Who wouldn't want to make black money worthless overnight? And yes, fake currency was indeed a serious issue. The RBI estimated around 400 crores worth of fake notes in circulation, which is not a small number. But here's the problem. Black money in India has never been about cash alone. Most black wealth isn't sitting in suitcases stuffed with notes. It is in properties, gold, offshore accounts, investments in shell companies. Studies by the National Institute of Public Finance and Policy had shown that for decades, only about 6% of black wealth is held in cash. The rest, untouchable by demonetisation. Now let's look at the magnitude of this decision. Overnight, 15.44 lakh crore worth of currency was declared invalid. That's 86% of India's cash supply, you get it. In a country where more than 90% of transactions were still back then cash-based. At that time, this was like cutting oxygen to the economy. The queues outside the banks were endless. People stood for hours, sometimes days, to deposit their old notes just to withdraw new ones. ATMs were empty, and the new 2000 rupee notes introduced couldn't fit into existing ATMs without recalibration. It took months to stabilize, and it wasn't just inconvenience, it was life and death. Independent reports suggest that more than 100 people died in demonetisation-related chaos. There were heart attacks. They were at hospitals, lack of timely treatment, refusing old notes, suicides due to sudden loss of savings. You see, there were so many things. Now here comes the real twist. If the goal was to destroy black money, we should have seen a massive chunk of currency not coming back into the system, right? That's what many experts assumed. In fact, the former finance secretary, Arvind Mayaram, even said that the government expected 3 to 4 lakh crore of black money would not return. But RBI's 2018 annual report shattered this claim. 99.3% of demonetized notes came back into the system. Out of 15.44 lakh crore withdrawn, 15.31 lakh crore was deposited back. So where did the black money vanish? Either there was never that much black cash in the first place, or people found out ways to launder it through middlemen, Jandan accounts, gold purchases, and even some sort of corrupt bankers must have helped. But then again, what did demonetisation actually achieve? 1. Digital payments boom. For sure, digital payments shot up. Paytm, PhonePe, Beam UPI all became household names. In fact, Paytm spent crores on advertising within hours of Modi's speech, saying Paytm karo. Today, India is a global leader in digital transactions, with UPI processing over 12 billion transactions per month in 2023. But was this permanent? Not really. Cash in circulation is still higher today than pre-2016, proving Indians returned to cash once restrictions erased. Second was the fake currency. Now, the RBI report showered only a marginal reduction in fake notes. The problem wasn't wiped out, you see, it just adapted. In fact, fake 2000 rupee notes began surfacing within months, and then they ended up banning those notes too. Third, corruption and black money. If 99% of cash came back, clearly demonetization did not destroy black wealth. At best, it forced temporary disclosure of cash holdings, but big fish with properties, gold and offshore accounts, question mark, untouched. Economic slowdown. GDP growth, it fell sharply from 8% in early 2016 and dropped to 6.1% in early 2017. Sectors like real estate, small-scale manufacturing, heavily dependent on cash, were badly hit. A CMIE study estimated that 1.5 million jobs lost in the aftermath. The human cost. Farmers, the backbone of this country. They couldn't buy seeds, daily wage earners, they lost their incomes, weddings got cancelled or they got downsized. The small businesses, they collapsed. For ordinary Indians, demonetization wasn't an anti-corruption strike. It was survival hell. Now here's where it got interesting. Economists may call demonetization a failure, but politically it worked wonders. So in March 2017, just 4 months later, Bharatiya Janata Party swept the Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections with a historic mandate. Despite the chaos, ordinary voters believed Modi ji's narrative. He is making the corrupt suffer. He is taking bold steps. He is working for the poor. That was what they believed. It was less about economics and more about symbolism. Modi positioned himself as the leader willing to take tough decisions for the nation, unlike the previous leaders and previous governments. And that perception, it paid off politically. Now, no headliner is complete without the controversies. RBI autonomy. Rumors were that even the RBI wasn't fully on board with this decision. In fact, former RBI Governor Raghuram Ranjan later revealed that he had advised against demonetization when consulted in 2014. His successor, Urjit Patel, faced massive pressure during the rollout. Critics argued that RBI's autonomy was compromised. Secrecy. The government argued that secrecy was crucial to prevent black money holders from escaping. But this secrecy also meant no preparation, no calibrated rollout, no study of consequences. Windfall of banks. With deposits flooding into banks, liquidity shot up. For a while, interest rates fell, but critics said that this was artificial. Savers earned less from fixed deposit. Now, the 2000 rupee note tyranny. The government claimed that it wanted to end black money hoarding, that it introduced the high value 2000 rupee note, which is easier to hoard than thousands. This move was widely ridiculed. In fact, in 2023, RBI withdrew the 2000 rupee note from circulation very quietly, admitting its limited use. So, was demonetization a masterstroke or a mistake? There has always been a debate on it. There will always be a debate on it. But let us know what you think about this in the comment section. Good night.